Welcome back to a Radio 660 special report, The Papal Conclave, live from Vatican City. I'm David Sheppard at our studio in New York, while my co-host Carol Stanley is broadcasting from among the crowd gathered at the Vatican. It is a little more than a half hour past 5 p.m. there at the Vatican, or around a half an hour before noon here in New York, where we understand that the fourth and final round of voting for today has begun among the College of Cardinals. Today is Wednesday, February 1st, the third day of the Papal Conclave, which began on Monday. Already in this conclave, we have seen the black smoke rise from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel 4 times, signaling that there still remains no Pope. Carol Stanley is over there at the Vatican in the Piazza del Popolo, reporting live to us from within the crowd. Carol, what is the mood so far out there among those gathered?
It may be the third day of this conclave, but the crowd has not let up in their hope to see a new pope elected soon. The mood here represents a mix of serious reflection on the gravitas of this moment in history for the Catholic Church, and a jubilant eagerness to see the Church move into the future with a new leader. The late Pope John Paul II is remembered, and those I've spoken to say that whoever the new Pontiff is to be will certainly have tremendous shoes to fill at the helm of a Catholic Church experiencing turmoil and doubt. They're also saying, though, that they look forward to seeing a move toward the future with the Catholic Church under new leadership. It's certainly a complex feeling here at the Vatican this evening as we continue to watch for the results of the present round of voting.
This fourth and final round of voting for today reportedly began a few minutes after 5 p.m. Vatican time, and the results of this vote are expected to be announced with either black or white smoke emanating from the Sistine Chapel. Black if no pope has been elected, and white if the vote does yield a new pope. This is the third day of this conclave, which began on Monday, meaning that if this vote does not in fact elect a new pope, the Cardinals must break tomorrow for prayers and discussion before resuming the voting on Friday. Now, Carol, I understand that while we were on our last break, you happened to encounter somebody we know there at the piazza. Who are you with, Carol?
David, it's quite the reunion here. It was little more than 2 weeks ago that we reported on the tragic terror attack in Manila, which claimed the life of the late John Paul II. That day, we conducted an interview with a young man who was present for that World Youth Day event. His name was Manuel Cervantes, and he has traveled from his home nation, the Philippines, to the Vatican to be here for this conclave. Manuel joins me now, here at the Vatican. Manuel, first of all, it's wonderful to be meeting you in person. We last spoke over the phone. You were there in Manila on January 15th, and you personally witnessed that horrific event that morning. How does it feel to now be here at the Vatican for this conclave?
Carol, it's exciting to meet you here, and I hope you have been doing well. Yes, I was there that day when John Paul II died, as you said. I was a witness to the explosion and its aftermath. I went to Manila to attend World Youth Day because of the future of the Catholic Church means a lot to me, and I was eager to see what direction the Pope would take us next. I feel the attack has robbed me of that experience, and so I have come to the Vatican to try to reclaim that for myself, to bring me some sort of closure after that shocking and horrible day. I also felt the need to honor Cardinal Jaime Sin of my nation, the Philippines, who was tragically killed in that attack. I feel grateful to be here, and I look forward to seeing what will happen when this conclave ends.
We have a saying in America that when one door closes, another one opens. Is there a sense of that here today for you? That it may be the end of an era, but also the start of a new one?
Oh, certainly there is, Carol. John Paul II was a tremendous figure for our church, and he represented the Catholic world well. It is certainly difficult to imagine a future of the church without him. But I also know that the church has a history of building upon its progress, and I hope that it is indeed what our next leader will do for us.
What are you hoping for from the new Pope once one is chosen, whomever that new leader will be?
I am hoping today that the new Pope, may God be with him and guide him as he leads us through the worst period for the church in many, many years. God grant him the clarity to lead us with kindness and care through this difficult time to the Catholic world. We have just experienced a major tragedy unlike any we have seen in such a very long time. To know how to guide us through this dark time must require a strong connection with God. And I am praying that whoever is chosen will defer to God's wisdom, will listen to God as he tells our new leader what to do. I expect the new Pope to spend much time in solemn meditation and prayer as he ponders the course of our future. That is what I am hoping for most, that the true man of God who defers to the wisdom of heaven will be chosen to lead our church. I have faith in the Cardinals that this conclave will result in a new leader who will do these things and more.
Carol, if I may, I would like to ask Manuel a question as well, while you've got him there. Manuel, what was the journey like for you emotionally to come from the situation in Manila to now here at the Vatican for the conclave? Surely it must be some form of whiplash feeling for you. Can you tell us more about what you've been feeling over these past 2 weeks? What made you feel like you have to be here for this?
It's been a surreal experience, David, to witness such tragedy and to be here as we wait to see what the future holds for us. There is such a big range of emotions I have felt over the past weeks that it is hard to comprehend. I felt almost a driving force to be here, almost as if God himself guided me to be there in Manila and then to be here now. Oh my gosh!
Manuel, if I may? David, we are here in front of the Sistine Chapel, where the white smoke has just been spotted coming from that iconic chimney, indicating to an overjoyed crowd that a new pope has just been selected. The crowd has erupted into an excited fervor, with people cheering and whooping as the smoke rises from the chapel. Let me ask Manuel what it is like now to be here, knowing that a new pope has just been selected.
Oh, it's wonderful, Carol. I have been here for 4 days. I arrived in Rome on Sunday and attended an evening mass. And then on Monday morning I made my way here, where I have watched with anticipation since then. I am very excited to see this white smoke. It means our church again has a leader. And as you have said, it's like a new era has begun. I am excited to see this smoke and hear these bells. I am going to stay until the new Pope greets us all. What a wonderful experience to be having here today.
You heard it here just now. Here on this Radio 660 special report. Reporting live from the Vatican with Carol Stanley, where it has just been announced that a new Pope has been chosen to lead the Catholic Church. Certainly an exciting development there for many at the Vatican, and those watching and listening from across the world, as this historic conclave is covered. Carol, what is the atmosphere there like now?
The feeling here has just shifted in dramatic fashion, David. People are chanting and cheering and waving the flags of their nations. The whole world is represented here at the Vatican today as this packed crowd screams with joy over the selection of a new pontiff. Some people I've seen even burst into tears with relief for the end of this conclave, almost certainly eager to get on with the task of pulling the church through this dark period in its history. It's an atmosphere of joy, David. That's the best way I can describe it. Pure joy has overswept this crowd, and now the piazza has an almost party-like vibe to it. People are celebrating this opportunity to come together and look forward again. Manuel, thank you for joining us again.
Indeed, Carol, it has been fantastic to be here with you today for this momentous occasion. Thank you for having me on the air again. Viva la Papa!
We are awaiting the appearance of the new Pope at any moment here soon, and the crowd has reportedly not let up in their enthusiasm to welcome the new leader of the Catholic Church. At this moment, it is likely that the new Pope is donning the papal vestments for the first time in what many have come to refer to as the Room of Tears, so named because it is said that the emotional weight of being chosen as Pope has been such to bring many to tears. It is at this moment that the new Pope is deciding how he would like to present himself to the world, deciding upon his first words to the public, and whatever other duties must be undertaken before the long-awaited moment at which he appears on the balcony. Whatever is happening inside the Vatican right now, surely there is no describing this moment in words for what the new Pope must be feeling right now. Historically speaking, it is said that at the 1958 conclave, the first to be televised, Pope John the 23rd, who was a man of robust build, shall we say, he put on the vestments and looked at himself in the mirror and joked, "This is not going to look good on television." It is possible that something similar may be happening now, as the new Pontiff sees himself as Pope for the first time. Carol, how is the crowd feeling as we await word of who the next Pope will be?
The crowd is absolutely ecstatic, David, and they're growing more restless by the moment. There is lots of chanting, cheering, and even some impromptu singing of hymns as we wait for word as to who has just been selected to be the new Pope. I'd like to take you now to someone I've just met here. Her name is Sharon Hudson, and she traveled from the United States to be here for this. Sharon, tell us where you're from and what brought you to the Vatican today.
Hi, Carol. I'm Sharon Hudson, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I was moved to be here and sort of reignite my faith after the horrible events that have happened recently. For such terror to strike us in America on our own soil, it has caused me to spend much time in prayer, something I haven't really done much since I was young. To lose John Paul II to terrorism as well has been like a sign for me that perhaps the Church needs me as much as I need it. I'm here today to show my support for the new Pope, and to remember all those lives lost in this shocking wave of terror that we've witnessed. I'm here to remember Pope John Paul II and to wish him farewell as he moves on to his rightful place among the saints. I came here today, Carol, because so much has changed in the world, and yet the Catholic Church remains a constant. Nearly 2,000 years of history have brought us to this point. The world is such a different place, and yet the Church and the papacy remain constant. And I have no doubt that 2,000 years more will only strengthen the Catholic Church. I feel like these recent events, while no doubt horrible, have failed to significantly damage the Church as they were intended, and surely the Church will only grow stronger for it.
Beautifully said, Sharon. What are you hoping for from the new... Wait a minute, David. There appears to be activity on the balcony. I think the new Pope is going to be announced. Let's listen in.
Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum. Habemus Papam. Eminentissimum ac reverentissimum Dominum Josephum Sancte Romane Ecclesiae Cardinalem Ratzinger qui sibi nomen imposuit Benedicti XVI.
If you are just now tuning in, Vatican officials have just confirmed the identity of the new Pontiff. Surely this indicates the new Pope is likely to make his public appearance soon, but I will tell you what we know. 67-year-old Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger of Germany has been elected by the College of Cardinals to assume the papacy. As a German, Cardinal Ratzinger will be only the second non-Italian pope in the modern era. Since the 16th century, nearly every pope has hailed from Italy, the most recent diversion from this trend being the late John Paul II himself, who came from Poland. This makes Cardinal Ratzinger the second non-Italian pope in a row, an oddity and a rarity for the Catholic Church. Cardinal Ratzinger has been known for over 2 decades as a close confidant of John Paul II, with his influence in Vatican affairs being noted as second only to John Paul himself. Ratzinger has been known as the Archbishop of Munich and Freising since 1977, and was made a cardinal that same year by Pope Paul VI. As cardinal, Ratzinger became prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith in 1981, a position responsible for the religious discipline of the Catholic Church. We're going to go now to Monsignor Jonathan Herring, who has served the Church as a priest since 1983. Father Herring, what more insight can you give us as to the selection of Cardinal Ratzinger as the new pope?
It doesn't come as much surprise to me, David. As you noted, his influence was second only to the Pope when it comes to recent Vatican affairs, and his long history of service to the Church makes him a natural choice. Cardinal Ratzinger is more or less what I expected from the Church when it comes to choosing an appropriate successor to John Paul II.
And what can you tell us about Cardinal Ratzinger as a person? The Pope may be ordained by God, but he is still a human man. I'd like to learn more about what he is like in that regard.
Well, Cardinal Ratzinger is a bit of a complex figure. He is known to seem shy and distant at times, but when made comfortable, he is great to be around, and he performs his duties in the Church well. I had the fortune of meeting him once on a trip to Munich a few years back, and he was an absolute pleasure to meet and talk with. He comes off as a sort of wise old man, like a well-lived grandfather.
What could we expect from Cardinal Ratzinger as he comes into his own as the new pope?
I think, and this is all my own speculation based upon being familiar with his work, but I expect him to be much like his predecessor in terms of religious doctrine and how he will administer the Church. He is strong in his views, and he is likely to continue on the legacy of John Paul II by guiding the Church with a missionary spirit. Overall, I believe Cardinal Ratzinger to be an excellent choice, one who will prove himself as the Church grapples with issues in the modern era.
We have also been given the name which Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger will hereafter be known by. The Pope's chosen name is to be Benedict XVI. His choice of name is particularly interesting, as it follows in the style of Pope Benedict XV, who was the Pope during the First World War. Benedict XV urged peace among the warring nations, hoping to bring calm and ease to a world then at war. Now, after the horrible acts of terrorism that have set the world on yet another course toward war, the election of Pope Benedict XVI comes amid new troubling and trying times for the Catholic Church, the global community at large. From this, we can probably assume the new Pope will be a man who likewise appeals for peace and rationale during times of social strife. Monsignor Herring, what do you make of the name chosen by the new Pope?
Well, here is to hoping the world listens to the wisdom of a leader who would honor Benedict XV in such a way, as we face a world again changed by an act of war. We've all been watching the news on TV. We've all been hearing it on the radio. The world is about to go to war over what has happened recently. We don't yet know what scale that war will take, but it's certainly a significant diversion from the relative level of peace we have experienced since the end of the Second World War. It is reassuring to know that this appears to be shaping up to be a church of peace and forgiveness, rather than one of hatred and vengeance. Whether the world at large will follow in this example, well, I have faith, but that does remain to be seen.
Well said, Monsignor Herring. Back to our Vatican audio feed, where Pope Benedict XVI has just appeared on the balcony and is waving to a joyous crowd. Let's listen in.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, dopo il grande Papa Giovanni Paolo II, i signori cardinali hanno eletto me, un semplice, umile lavoratore nella vigna del Signore. Mi consola il fatto che il Signore sa lavorare e agire anche con strumenti insufficienti e soprattutto mi affido alle vostre preghiere. Nella gioia del Signore risorto, fiduciosi del suo aiuto permanente, andiamo avanti, il Signore ci aiuterà e Maria, sua Santissima Madre, sta alla nostra parte. Grazie. Sancti Apostoli Petrus et Paulus, de quorum potestate et autoritate confidimus, ipse intercedant pro nobis ad Dominum. Et benedictio Dei omnipotentis, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos et maneat semper